The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
And we start off the show because it's Miller time.
Karoline is not just a colleague, not just someone for whom I have endless respect and admiration, but she's a close friend, someone I've got to know well, someone that my family has gotten to know well, someone that has really been in every way a source of joy in so many of our lives. Professionally, her credentials, her accolades, her achievements are second to none. Her job that she has performed as White House press secretary, the word exemplary doesn't even begin to cover it. She has served this president so well, this administration so well, this country so well, and very importantly, she's been a role model to millions and millions of young women all across this country, a mother, a family woman, a press secretary.
You know, Karoline Leavitt, I got to know when she was running for Congress. She was 25 years old. And I have stayed in touch with her ever since. I ran into her in Washington, D.C. At a gathering when I first got here. And she said, "Rob Carson." I said, "Yeah, it's good to see you." And I could have never imagined how good she was at this job. I've seen a lot of press secretaries. You've seen a lot of press secretaries going back to George Stephanopoulos. She owned it. She owned it. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it was in her genes. It was her upbringing. But to be her age, 27 years old, and to handle the pressure of that with a virulent press corps, nobody has handled it better. Kellyanne Conway did a pretty good job. But Karoline Leavitt made it look effortless. Just brilliant. And always just rock solid, never... just completely unshakable. I can't imagine that. When I was 27 years old, are you kidding me? And listen, I don't want to even focus on age, because she was just, no matter how good I don't even know how to describe how good she is. But look who she replaced.
I don't have anything.
I mean, from the last administration.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I just don't have anything. I don't have anything. We don't have anything. We just don't have anything.
That's Corinne Jean-Pierre. Has anybody heard of her lately?
I don't have anything. So I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't.
She hanging out with Graham Plattner?
Anything. I don't have anything.
Eric Swalwell?
Don't have anything. Just don't have anything. I just don't have anything. I don't have anything.
What else do we got of this brilliant montage, or this brilliant woman, Corinne Jean-Pierre? The reason why she was so big is because she's a black lesbian, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
As a black woman, as a person who's also LGBTQ, as a black woman, I am a black woman, I'm a queer woman, I'm an immigrant. Being a black woman,
you could totally play in the WNBA.
Woman myself, that is the thing that I understood as
You're a little short like Spud Webb.
As a black woman, is that I meant a lot to people because of the communities that I represented, and whether it was women of color, black women.
Oh dear God, you represented nobody.
Women, queer,
maybe the idiots of America,
community, LGBTQ community, immigrant. And as a black woman, and I have my queerness too.
Oh yeah, you got your queerness. You can always fall back in the old queerness. That's always good to fall back on, your queerness and all that. She was such a joke. She was such a DEI. Oh, my God in heaven, like Kamala Harris. Joe Biden, I want a black woman and, black woman. There you go. Black woman, yeah. I mean, this is, she was like a trifecta black woman lesbian. Holy hell. She would have been an amputee or something, or non-binary. Well, if you're either whatever. Anyway, but here's Karoline Leavitt's greatest moments.
So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the military parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question. Rick Kelly.
This agent acted recklessly until the unjustified.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist. And
that is so fantastic.
So clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake, like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. but you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias.
She spanked him so bad his butt is red.
You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country?
Do you?
I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Lake and Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist. Allowing complete lawlessness and chaos across our country. We had 4 years of that under Joe Biden. Thanks to President Trump and Republicans and common sense policies across the board, our country is safer. Our country is more affordable. These across the board. Our country is safer. Our country is more affordable. We cannot allow these radical, extreme, far left liberals to take power. We have steady progress under President Trump right now. If these radical extreme liberals are given a chance at power here in Washington, D.C., they will try to obstruct this president and turn our country into a communist hellhole with every extreme liberal policy that they try to implement.
Boom!
What was Karoline doing? Is she doing good? Should Karoline be replaced? No.
That's up to you, sir.
It'll never happen.
Nobody wants to.
I say she does.
Karoline Leavitt, absolutely the best of the best. Here's a tribute from the Prezi himself.
She was the best. Now Karoline is leaving.
Come on.
We're gonna miss her every day.
Are you gonna sing with me when the sweet Caroline comes up to? All right.
The media.
Da, da, da.
She had wrapped round her finger. With her, they never got their way.
Ready with the bum-bum-bums. Here we go.
Hand.
Ooh, right here.
Give her a hand. Miss Leavitt, you're the best. We'll miss you.
Oh, my goodness. Big shoes to fill, baby.
Sweet Karoline. Ba, ba, ba. No one's done the job as good.
As good. As good. As good.
Kept them in line.
Ba, ba, ba.
In her way, nobody stood.
Sweet Caroline. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I got to tell you, just unbelievable. Now, here's what I'm hearing, and I don't want to talk so quickly about a replacement. Let me just say, first of all, thank you for realizing what's important. I remember when my wife told me she was pregnant with my son, and I was on a treadmill at the gym. And the more I didn't realize, the more excited about becoming a father I became, the faster I was going on the treadmill. And I was running like 8 miles an hour. And everyone in the gym was like, what is going on? But I was so thrilled about the possibility of being a father. And I remember when my baby boy was laid out on my wife's chest, and I said, hi, boy. Hi, buddy. Hi, Will. And he opened his eyes, and he knew my voice. And I realized that nothing was better and nothing was more important. And then my daughter was born. And you put the pedal to the metal on that. So realizing that you want to be a devoted mother and parent is so unbelievably important in this day. I tried very hard to be the best father. I failed in many ways because I struggled and I was out of work and, started drinking too much and all that. But they never doubted that I loved them. I drove them to school, to and from school, from first grade through high school, most of the time, every day, to and from, made every lunch, made every dinner, celebrated every birthday, made the birthday parties, coached the Little League team, the whole deal. It is such a sacred duty and honor to be a parent. And it is so amazing, and it doesn't surprise me, with her incredible insight that she would recognize that parenthood is bigger than being the voice of this administration. I understand it. Now, who they're talking about, the first name that came up for me was Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller, I thought, oh my God, Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller would annihilate anybody in front of him. They also brought up Matt Boyle. I like Matt Boyle. He's a little, we don't need a soft touch. He's more of a soft touch, Matt Boyle. I thought last night Lydia Moynihan's really good. And then I heard the name Alina Habba, and I went, ka-friggin' a boom. Alina Habba, kaboom. She is tough as nails. She fought for Donald Trump. She was there when they raided Mar-a-Lago. They sent her out. She took on all comers. She is, I'll just say, gorgeous, absolutely stunning. I've met her. And she is fantastic. And I like Miller where he is. Miller is phenomenal, just simply phenomenal. He went off yesterday. He was talking to Will Cain, and he delivered a diatribe and a monologue that is just so brilliant, taking down what the Democrats are trying to put behind them as woke 1.0. They want to take all of the nonsense that they're still espousing and say, oh, no, that was back in 2020. That's woke 1.0. That's bullcrap. That's absolute bullcrap. It's the same feces, but they're doubling down on the feces and going further left. And Stephen Miller was going to have none of Democrats laughing it off and calling it woke 1.0 because of all the damage, the destruction, the awfulness that they did to the country. And I'm not letting it go either. Not letting it go. I've got that monologue coming up. It is so good, so good, so good, just like Sweet Caroline. Also, Frank Luntz says the polling for the primaries ought to be getting rid of because it's a joke. No kidding. Also, Michael Charbon, bottom of the hour, 800-922-6680. This is The Rob Carson Show.
to build something that will change politics forever. The work we have done will be remembered forever.
Wow. The DSA, as of yesterday, has a massive hangover. I didn't come up with that. Logan Raddick did. He's a Newsmax reporter. He said, they've got a massive hangover, and they do. And by the way, she said we'll be remembered forever. That puny little campaign in the state of Wisconsin in the year 2026 with an idiot as the candidate, an idiot radical leftist who hated Thanksgiving, hates Valentine's Day, hates everything, but wanted to take over the government as a Marxist and communist. We're going to remember that. Okay, sure, you're right up there with the annals of Thomas Jefferson. Oh, he's a white supremacist. George Washington, he's a colonizer. Whatever bullcrap. You will be forgotten. And next week by Monday, I won't remember your name. I barely remember your name now. I thought it was Jessica Hong yesterday. It's Francesca Hong, but I'm not going to remember it. You're going to be Eric Swalwell tomorrow. There you go. Oh, and here's her little, I'll just say this is a parting shot.
Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities.
No, it's a sacred holiday, and it's actually better than Christmas. I love Thanksgiving better than Christmas because we get together as families and we acknowledge all of the gifts we've gotten from God and the glorious life in the country that we live in now.
My favorite holiday.
There she is, a kindergarten roundup. I mean, sounding like a toddler.
Is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because
there you have it.
Yeah,
yep.
Nobody
Nobody
believed any of that nonsense. I guess I should play this one more time because this may be the last time that you hear the Hong Kong Phooey, the theme song of Hong Kong Phooey, a cartoon. I tried to explain it on the ride into work today with Logan Raddick. I've been carpooling with him, where I only drive actually because I take Buck, and so we're riding in, and he's like, "God dang, you're twice my age, and you're listening to Five Finger Death Punch." Blue on Black. I've never heard that song before. Shut up, kid. I'm talking here. Anyway, so Logan Raddick's right in me. And I said, yeah, man, I got to do this bit with Francesca Hong. He's the guy who came up with a hangover. And I said, yeah, use the theme song to Hong Kong Phooey. It was like, no. Nobody knows because nobody airs Hong Kong Phooey anymore. Nobody does.
Number one super guy.
Hong Kong Phooey, quicker than the human eye.
Hong Kong Phooey, number one super guy. Hong Kong Phooey, quicker than the human eye. Hong Kong Phooey, terrific.
Yeah, you can tell I was a latchkey kid in the 70s, right? Yeah. We watched cartoons on Saturdays, and then we went out and played all day. We had BB guns. Roger Nielsen got his eye shot out. It happened. Anyway, here is AOC blaming all of the damage, destruction, and awfulness the left perpetrated on the country from like 2018 to 2022, or almost 24 probably, on Woke 1.0.
I have a local city councilman that has this saying Woke One was crazy.
Did the movement go too far with some of those positions? I mean, you briefly supported the idea of defunding the police.
During this time, and especially during COVID, there was a huge opening of the Overton window. The doors were really open in trying to entertain any and every policy that was going to get us to a better place. During lockdown, of course, rhetoric in that time is not rhetoric that we would use today.
Okay, we have a freeze up on my computer real quick, so we're going to lose the screen for one moment as I restart. Okay, they took away the Dixie Chicks. They said the Dixie Chicks were no good, so they had to get rid of the Dixie Chicks. And I can go on and on and on. And they basically did a revolutionary change of America. They wanted to turn over America and make it into a socialist workers' paradise. And we hold on, I'm going to continue real quick here. Got it almost a second here, Ken. And this happens every once in a while. Probably need to get an engineer in here. So, okay, I should be on. Let me get me so the computer, the camera looks good. I hate to do this live, guys, but this is what I do. I'm a broadcaster. Look, I'm back. Okay, there you go. Ken, we should be on. But I'm able to at least explain it in a cognitive manner and also continue the monologue as I do it. Most people are just kind of stuck there deer in the headlights, like that guy the other night on NBC when the poll stopped working in Wisconsin. He had no idea what to say. Me, I kept the conversation going, and I stretched things out a little while I was actually reestablishing connection on not only radio, but also on the stream. I know, I'm a multitasker, ladies and gentlemen. Ugh, hate it when that happens. All right, so coming up, Michael Charbon from Canada. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount Plus. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman. Now streaming on Paramount Plus. Hey guys, it's Carson. You know, when it comes to supplements, two things matter most. A, that it works, and B, that you can trust it. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed, including mine, and we'd like you to hear a few of their stories. Chris has spent years of doing physical work, leaving his feet sore at the end of the day. After starting Relief Factor, he felt so good, he did something he'd never done before. He ran a half marathon. Now he tells all his friends about Relief Factor. I can still move furniture, I can still ride my mountain bike, I can still lift heavy weights, and Relief Factor makes all of those tasks pain-free for me. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll soon be sharing your story with us too. Again, ReliefFactor.com or 800-4RELIEF.
Gotta ride the block or move. We got a right to shut it down. Iran's leader is a clown. They're in clear violation. It is safe to assume the bombing will resume. All Iran will see is misery. We will take out power plants. Card Island we will seize. You'll see it on the news. We got a right to block or
Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. You may not remember every time you toss, turn, or wake up hot, but your body does. That's why you wake up tired before the day even starts. That's why I got a Ghost Bed, the best bed in the history of mankind. Ghost Bed is engineered to help reduce the reasons your sleep gets interrupted. Ghost Bed is designed to relieve pressure, help regulate temperature, support your body. Cooling technology built into every mattress and made in the USA. With Ghost Bed's 101 night trial, you can try it at home because the real test of a mattress is how you feel in the morning. If you're waking up sore or tired before the day even starts, check out Ghost Bed. For a limited time during Ghost Bed's Labor Day sale, they're offering my audience an extra 10% off their lowest prices of the season. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson.
Oh, beauty, go.
Take off to the great white north. Take off.
It's a beauty way to go.
Take off to the great white north.
Joining us on the Newsmax hotline is Michael Charbon, the host of the Charbon Report from Canada. Hey, Michael, do they still use the expression beauty, in Canada? I do not hear Michael. Hello. We have no. I have his face on camera, but I do not hear Michael Charbon.
Check 1, 2, 3.
There you are. There you are. How you doing, brother?
Good. It's a pleasure to be with you and your syndicate radio listeners and live across the Newsmax network with the ultimate Rob Carson multitasker. I love that you were so nice and calm when you signed off, and we're watching the podcast, and the headphones come off and smash down. Rob,
well, here's the deal. I'm a one-man band here. All right, I've got Redneck MacGyver, Ken, my producer. He's where the hell is he? Is he in Florida? He's in Florida. And then I got Brian back at WCBM, and then I got me over here on this island where I run all the audio and the video and everything else. So when something goes wrong, I've got to kind of literally, it's like juggling. It's like juggling torches while standing on a ball. It's kind of that way. But we're here.
But the way you threw your headset down was classic because you were so calm and nice on air. But Rob, I got to tell you, what about Alina Habba as the press secretary?
Brother, I'm going to tell you, you really, when you brought that up today, because I was running through people in my mind, and the people that came up to me were Stephen Miller, and I thought,
too abrasive,
Lydia Moynihan. And somebody had mentioned Matt Boyle, but I like Matt Boyle, but he's too much of a soft touch. He's too nice. But Habba has had to suffer all the slings or the arrows of the media, and the Democrat Party and the crooked DOJ going after Donald Trump, and she handled it brilliantly. Plus she's gorgeous.
Now, you see, you were accused of being a misogynist by saying she is gorgeous. You know what the saddest thing of our state of the world is? Do you think women put makeup on and glam and dress in nice clothes and everything because they don't want men to acknowledge that they look
those days are over. Those days are over. When I'm out, even around the office, there's a young woman who works at the front desk, and I walk in and I said, those colors work really great on you. And I'm not even gay. And she's like, oh, thank you. Or when I'm out, I see somebody, like a beautiful woman walking down the sidewalk, and I'll say, that is fantastic. You are the total package. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. So those days are over. I don't walk around and slap them on the rear end and say, hey, nice butt. Yeah, that was the 70s or whatever. I never experienced that. But I think generally women like to get a compliment, and it's not sexual harassment if you just say you look good.
Yes, I totally agree. And you know what? Those were the pleasantries that we exchanged way back when. And
yes.
Unfortunately,
and you are a handsome man, by the way. I'll just tell you that right now. You are a handsome man.
Oh God. Yeah.
All right, so let's get to it. What do you got on the plate today, brother?
I want to ask a question. I've been watching all this WNBA stuff. I like basketball. Toronto just got a brand new WNBA team called the Toronto Tempo.
The Tempo. Are they all lesbians too?
No.
They're not all lesbians. Are they all?
Hold on. You can't even. I got to get my question out here.
Oh, sorry,
I'm looking at all this stuff that's going down, and I'm going to ask this respectfully: is this a racial thing? Are these black basketball players so enraged that the two top WNBA players are white, and they assume that they were going to inherit that mantle? Is that why they're so rough on them? I don't get it.
Here's the problem. You've got a combination of things. You have the indoctrination of young people, particularly black people, since before 2020, saying that you are a victim, saying that you will never achieve anything in this country because of our slave heritage and everything. And then, of course, the combination of telling everyone that Donald Trump and his supporters are Nazis and racists and white supremacists. Joe Biden said that white supremacists is the biggest danger we ever felt. It was all nonsense, but people internalized it. And then consequently felt entitled, felt special, got the victimhood thing going here. And along comes Caitlin Clark. Now, Caitlin Clark scored more points than any basketball player ever. Okay, Christian Laettner, whatever, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, everybody. She scored more points than any college basketball player ever. She comes to the league, has a gigantic first year. Suddenly, people actually know at least one WNBA team because they never knew it before. I didn't know any WNBA teams or players. None. And they hate that they weren't able to get it done. And I'm sure they feel like that because they weren't able to get the WNBA on the radar is because of racism and it's because of whitey. And it's not the case at all.
Well, I just think it's disparaging to see the clotheslining, the fist to the neck, etc. I think we really have to get over that because I think they're going to tarnish the league and really impede the success that it is working on. The momentum is there, people are there, Rob, but I think this is just a terrible situation.
Here's the thing: it is basically self-immolation. It is self-immolation, it's self-destruction, and if the management of the teams don't understand it, then they can all go to hell. This Dejanay Carrington, this woman who she culturally appropriates white blonde hair. You notice that? So she did the clothesline on Caitlin Clark. I want you to hear Rob Finnerty. I think you're going to like it. Rob Finnerty did a report last night. This is about a minute and a half. I think we got time. I want you to hear this in its entirety, then react.
But my question tonight is what happens to these women when they join this league? Why is this league so toxic? Meet Dejanay Carrington before she ever went to the WNBA, before it made her absolutely insane.
My mom ran track, and so they were both on collegiate scholarships. My sister played basketball in college, and she played at University of New Orleans. My brother played at the University of Oregon and University of Utah. It was a really fun dynamic and a really cool experience just to have my family surrounding me. I hope to return to school, get my master's and my PhD in psychology. Wow. And when I further that education, I want to become either a forensic psychologist or a behavioral analysis profiler. Wow. I'm playing obviously for my faith, my family, but also for all the young girls looking up to me and who aspire to do similar things.
That's the same girl.
Yeah.
That's Dejanay right there.
Yeah.
I'm playing for my faith, my family, and all the young girls looking up to me. What the hell happened?
I know. It's radicalization and it's indoctrination and it's being surrounded by a bunch of other sycophantic racists. That's really it, Michael.
You know what, Rob Carson? That's why Chris Ruddy's Newsmax, people like Finnerty and yourself bring up these type of topics that no other television station or radio, for that matter, is doing. And it's this kind of a thing that the public kind of goes, I never heard that before.
I'm going to tell you,
that gives me a whole different perspective.
Dejanay used to be a role model. She is not a role model now. She is a worthless piece of crap. And I think it's a damn shame because she was a respectful person with a very bright future, and now she's just an awful leftist. She wore a T-shirt that said F Donald Trump to the game. That's another part of it. Again, it's all this indoctrination, Michael. Listen, we got to take a break and come back, okay?
Gotcha.
All right, let's take a break and come back. More with Michael Charbon on the other side of the break. This is the Rob Carson Show.
What changed between college and the WNBA when you wore a sweatshirt to a game that said F Donald Trump and there were no consequences for that? And then you started dating women on your team. And then you tweeted about white privilege. Think about that.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe there's a connection between that and why the WNBA is so bad? Why it's so unlikable? Why I'm talking about it again for the second time this week on Newsmax.
That is Rob Finnerty talking about Dejounte Carrington, by the way. You know this league is screwed when one of their arenas is called Climate Pledge Arena. So the WNBA is completely politicized to the left on everything. That's the problem with the WNBA, Michael Charbon.
Yeah, well, anybody who goes too far left eventually fall off the slate. I think everybody realized during the Biden scenario and all those terrible things that were being attempting to be changed have proven out to be negative, from DEA to all the rest of it. It's proven that we want a merit-based society. We want to stay center. Whether you want to lean a little left or lean a little bit right, you can still stand up, sit down, and fight together. How's that?
Yeah, well, there was a time, and I remember because I wrote for Rush Limbaugh from 1989 to about 2013 or so, and you used to be able to break bread with Democrats, but the Democrats of today have been so brainwashed, starting in 2010 with we're going to burn down the White House, or 2016, I should say, going to burn down the White House. Donald Trump's a Nazi. I remember when Trump was running in 2016, these Antifa people would get into the lines to Trump shows and get into fights with him, and I knew it was going to be a problem. And it infected the psyche of America. It has separated families. I'm an example of that. One of the reasons our marriage broke up. My wife asked for a divorce the day after the election. And
I couldn't believe when I was watching Van Jones on CNN saying, "I'm tearing up. I had to talk to my child because they didn't know what was coming." So ridiculous, so amplified, and so way off base. They made it even worse. I mean,
it was a psyop. It was all a psyop. Now they just want to call it woke 1.0. And guess what? I'm not accepting that, not one little bit. No. What else you got on the plate today, Michael Charbon?
So we're talking about driverless cars. I thought I'd bring this topic up. There was a woman who was driving a car in British Columbia. She was wearing sunglasses. And it was a self-driving vehicle, not naming any names. The cops are pulling up beside them, and there is this lady with two kids in the back seat, potentially asleep. So the cop tried to pull her over and put the siren on and etc. And the problem was, here's where the default was. The car was not able to use its driver detection systems because she was wearing sunglasses.
What? So she's passed out at the wheel. She got two kids in the back. What?
Asleep, not
okay, she's asleep. It's amazing how many times I got asleep because I drank too much. But anyway, there you go. She might have just been an exhausted mother, but the car would not pull over because she had the glasses. I had no idea it was the glasses that did. I guess, okay.
Yeah, because the driver sensing unit is looking at your eyes, your retina motion, right? The way it moves back and forth. She had
imagine hers were probably a little red.
And there's two kids in the back seat.
I know. Well, Michael, I got to tell you, I'm not as terrified of the self-driving cars as you might think. I think, for one, that this is going to revolutionize how the sight impaired are able to get around, and I mean that really. Blind people are one of the most marginalized people in the entire country. Deaf people as well, by the way, completely marginalized from society. And this would give not only maybe handicapped people, but also the blind, the ability to be able to go wherever they want to go, when they want to go, and have their own car. So I think that's a very positive. It's not perfect yet. It's not perfect.
All the positive things. Guess what happened to a raccoon in British Columbia?
I'm afraid because when you're out there in British Columbia, you get lonely. And
they have to give a raccoon Narcan to save its life.
All right,
because it ate something that they weren't quite sure what it was.
What, fentanyl in it?
All of a sudden started imitating Jimi Hendrix, but they had to save the raccoon by giving it Narcan.
They gave a raccoon Narcan? Did they find a little raccoon crack pipe laying there? Tiny little heroin needle?
It ate something that looked like wax.
Okay. So you think it was man-made, or do you think it was some sort of an herb or a mushroom that grows out in the wild?
I have no idea, but I got to say, when I read that, I said, thank goodness for the raccoon. But What about the person who gave the raccoon Narcan who realized that the white waxy substance could have put the little critter in danger? Who's culpable?
I don't know. Better to give a raccoon Narcan than mouth to mouth.
No,
you know?
We heard later on that it was a squirrel. Yeah. The guy was too high to realize it wasn't a raccoon.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, listen, Michael.
Last point.
Go ahead. One more.
A great white shark. You know the apex hunter? We're talking about a 729-pound shark. So yes. Florida has this tracking system that they can track things. This shark is going down the St. Lawrence River looking after seals. And people are like, in the St. Lawrence, you swim, you drink, you eat perch. And there's a shark in the St. Lawrence.
When Jaws came out, I don't know what you were. We were at the same age. We were afraid to go in lakes in Iowa. That's how bad it scared us. It was really that.
I'm telling you, when they could track a shark in the St. Lawrence, something's not good.
That's good. All right, Michael Charbon, fantastic to have you on, my brother, live from Canada. Tell everybody where they can find your awesome presence on social media.
MichaelACharbon.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on TikTok, and on X at Michael A. Charbon, and always on The Rob Carson Show at 12:30 on Thursdays.
God bless you, brother. We'll talk again soon. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. Who's all watching? My God, deplorable dinosaur. I don't know who this is, but I'm going to delete the troll. Delete the troll. Bye-bye, trollers. And we don't allow trolls on our show. You go into the dustbin of history. Landshark Telegram. There you go. Sportech. We got a lot of Gen Xers in here. More cowbell, of course. This is great. But I got to tell you, I could use a little more cowbell. Hello, Caden Prater. Hi, Rob. How are you? I'm wonderful. Caden Prater over on X. Great, buddy. Great. Hold on. I got two keyboards here. On top of everything else in here, I've got, okay, ready? I've got a camera, computer screen, laptop, computer screen, keyboard. Yeah. One computer, two computer, and a screen. That's how we are. That's what I got to juggle here. But it's great because I have a very short span of attention that allows me to focus on a dozen things in a half-assed fashion rather than just focusing on one thing. No trolls allowed. That's right, Vicky Stevens. Gosh darn it, Jellyfish Hunter, what up? Did you see the chick from SPLC who looked like Brian Bosworth got arrested? Actually, obese Brian Bosworth is not too bad. Also, she looks like a little bit like Dog the Bounty Hunter, right? Doesn't she look like Dog the Bounty Hunter? Same haircut. Oh, I got to play something. Let's do. I wasn't able to get to a lot of stuff there. Oh, here we go. Stephen Miller next. Here I go. So, Stephen Miller yesterday went on an epic rant because AOC is trying to laugh off all of the destruction of the Democrat Party and the idiocy of shutting down the country for an election year, for all of the racist nonsense. It was 1968 all over again, burning of American cities, all of the nonsense. And she's trying to laugh it off. We're not letting it go. We're not letting it go because of what you did to our country. But this is Stephen Miller coming off the top rope.
So let's talk about this callous laughter from AOC talking about what she calls woke one. What was one of the central tenets of the so-called woke ideology that the left launched in 2020 in earnest and throughout these last number of years? Although, of course, its ideological roots of Marxism and anti-Americanism and communism and third worldism all, of course, significantly predate that. What was one of its core tenets.
Racism?
The dismantlement, destruction, and defunding of our police departments.
Oh, yes.
That policy objective, which remains in force in every blue city today, in Chicago, in Los Angeles, and New York, an unrelenting war against police. The result, the wages of that policy were a historic increase in murders until President Trump came along, a historic increase in shootings, dead bodies, drug overdoses, gangs run amok, citizens living in fear, public spaces ceded to violent, thuggish, armed robbers. That was the policy. We're all going to have a good laugh about that?
No.
Sorry your husband was murdered.
Yeah.
Sorry your mom was killed.
Yeah.
Sorry your loved ones are 6 feet under the ground now. We're going to have a good laugh about that? It's sickening. It's disgusting. And the thing is, it never stopped.
The amazing thing is I moved here a little over a year now. It's been over a year. Did you know that? About a year and a half. Or a year and a month. And Donald Trump came in and cleaned up this city. And I'm going to tell you, if you make it to D.C., you will not believe it. It is Shangri-La. It is Paris back in the day. It is Rome. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Look here in Washington, D.C. You just did a segment on the 1-year anniversary of President Trump's D.C. Safe Initiative, where he achieved the largest ever reduction of violent crime, not only in the history of this city, but the history of any city. Nowhere has violent crime fallen so steeply, so quickly, so totally.
Yeah, 100%. And now we got to deal with the DSA.
It's hatred for America, and it's hatred for the people who have made America great. It's hatred for the people who build and sustain things. Look at all of these DSA candidates. Look at all of these radical left ideologues. Look at everyone who proposes all these different woke ideas. What do they have in common? It's a people and a movement who can't build anything.
Yep.
This is a movement. It never ends with the cathedral. Yep. It never ends with the bridge.
Nope.
It never ends with the brand new airport.
Nope.
It never ends with a secure border.
Nope.
It never ends with a gleaming community.
Nope.
It never ends with a functional school system.
Nope.
It never ends with a beautiful, gorgeous park.
Yep.
It never even ends with a presidential library that you can look at and not feel disgust like the Obama library.
Yeah.
It's an ideology that looks at what civilization built and is envious and hateful and jealous and says, I will take, I will steal, I will dismantle, I will destroy, and I will redistribute everything that you have built to people who don't belong here and have no right to be here.
Yes, and this is why I said you're not in the position to demand anything. You spoiled, entitled little turds. You human turds like El Sayed and Francesca Hong and all of you idiots, you are not in the position to demand anything from the people who have made this country great. You've done nothing. We are going to drive your movement into hell with the Democrat Party. Yeah, baby. Hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show is on the other side of this break. If I were you, I wouldn't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
This is hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show. At the bottom of the hour, we have a comedian, a conservative comedian, and his name is Vince August, and he is a no-holds-barred, politically incorrect conservative comedian. And, you know, we went through a lot of nonsense over the last few years with regard to what we could say, what we could not say. You could not say the word tranny unless you're talking about going to have your car fixed. All of a sudden, you couldn't say that. You couldn't say anything. You couldn't say anything. There were so many comedians who were canceled. Gilbert Gottfried, gone. And many, many more. Gone. It doesn't have CBM audio. Well, I don't know what to tell you because it's on. CBM audio should be there. It's not my issue. Don't know what the problem is. But I am on, by the way. So anyway, thanks for telling me. There's nothing I can do about it because I didn't see any needles moving over here. Isn't it nice we can just bring up these technical issues on the show as we do the show? Isn't this just crazy? Because this is what happens when you're a one-man band. That said, back to the comedian we have at the bottom of the hour, and Vince August. I'm seeing a comeback of comedy. I'm seeing a return to, you know what? I don't care if you're offended. Get the hell out of the club if you don't want to be here. And I've seen there's a number of new conservative comedians who are out there conservative comedians. Yeah, conservative comedians. When was the last time you had a conservative comedian be able to say in New York City or a place like that, you're conservative? It's been forever. We were banned on that. I'm not really a stand-up comedy. I've done some, but not full-time. But when was the last time you could go into a college and actually say what you meant and be politically incorrect without a bunch of children getting all butthurt about it? Well, that's still probably that way on some campi. However, conservative comedy is here. It's ascending because the left can't be taken seriously anymore. So I'm going to talk to him at the bottom of the hour. I think it's going to be a delightful conversation. Some of his stuff is very politically incorrect, and I love it, and I love it, and I love it. I want to play one more soundbite from Stephen Miller. He's talking about the DSA, the Democrats trying to laugh off all the destruction that they caused with what they call now woke 1.0. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's still here. They're trying to still force feed us this. They tried to take it even further with the DSA, even further left, getting rid of the border, getting rid of prisons, getting rid of police, getting rid of expanding woke and DEI and CRT, getting rid of the president, all this nonsense, and this land acknowledgement, all this stupid crap that people do. Honestly, really, well, when you're giving it up for the Ojibwe or the Sioux, and God bless them, they were great people. You also got to think about the Neanderthals. And what about the buffalo? I mean, what about the buffalo? They were here. Can we acknowledge the buffalo? What the hell? But anyway, all of this, I think this nonsense, they're trying to brush it off like it was woke 1.0. But if you fell for it, you're an idiot, like AOC. If you fell for it, defund the police, you're an idiot. There's no recovery from that. If you thought something like that as a human being, you're too stupid to ever belong in office. If you thought that wearing a paper mask was going to protect you from the world's deadliest virus or whatever, then sorry, no, you were dumb. If you thought that schools needed to be closed 2 years, you're an idiot. You should never be allowed in office again because you are able to be the subject of suggestion. If you believe that a boy can become a girl and a girl can become a boy, and let's face it, there's no way it's possible. All you're doing is cosmetic nonsense, mutilation, desexualization, eunuchification, or making people into eunuchs, and pretending by dressing up in other clothes and changing your hair, and one wearing makeup and one without, that you are somehow the opposite gender. It's not true. You're just becoming a mutilated eunuch, and that's the way it is. And if you bought into that, like Peggy Flanagan, who is now running for Senate in New York, you should never be able to hold office again because you've displayed an incredible lack of judgment. Here is Stephen Miller about all of the Democrat Party and what Donald Trump is. 2024 was about returning to common sense from nonsense. This midterm is coming from insane and going to sanity. All right. And the Democrat Party, because they hate Donald Trump so much, they've ushered in these idiots in the DNC, these children who've done nothing but expect everything. They're throwing a temper tantrum. That's what 2020 was. It was a temper tantrum. That's what No Kings is a temper tantrum. That's what the Tesla burnings, those were temper tantrums. Are you recognizing a pattern here all from the left? Are you recognizing a pattern here all from the left? Not from the right. Thank you very much. Not at all. No conservatives at all did any of the stupid crap you did. But that said, the Democrat Party has one speed, and it is anti-Trump. No matter what he comes up with, no matter how good it is, it's bad. And that's where they're really effed. Here is Stephen Miller.
And everything President Trump has done, Will, think about this. Everything that he's done to try to dismantle that ideology, the left is taking him to court. Every beautiful thing he wants to build, they want to block. Every mile of the border he wants to secure.
What the hell is wrong with the damn ballroom?
They want to stop. Every illegal alien he wants to...
Jackie O wanted one, but her husband got shot in the head.
Deport, they want to keep here. Every transgender inmate that he wants to be housed in their biologically correct prison, they're suing to keep men housed with women. Every school...
If you fell for that crap, you should never... ever, A, have children, or B, have an elected office.
Where he's trying to stop racial discrimination, transgender ideology, the sexual abuse of our children. They're there defending the abusers. They're there defending what's putrid and hateful. On race discrimination, battling with every single university to say, just because you're a young white man in this country doesn't mean that you're not allowed to get the same treatment when you're applying for college. They're the ones that are in court every day fighting to say, no, that kind of discrimination is good. That's the kind of discrimination we want. Ripping apart the fabric of society by race, by ethnicity, at the seams. That's their ideology. I'm sorry for this monologue, but it's got to be said, Will.
No, bravo.
It's never stopped, and it's never going to stop. It can only be defeated when millions of upstanding citizens say, we're not going to let them take our country away. That's what Trump and MAGA and America First is all about and will always be about.
That's what Homeboys, Hillbillies, and Hebrews is all about. Right there, right there, right there. 100%. Now here is something interesting. One of the things that Democrats have been being and whining about. Donald Trump sent the National Guard in Washington, D.C. and Memphis, Tennessee. Both of those towns were crap holes. All of the fountains here were being used as urinals for the homeless. They were covered with graffiti and nonsense. Nobody was going out. Georgetown was a ghost town. DuPont Circle was a bunch of homeless people with shopping carts full of garbage. When I went to DuPont Circle a couple months ago, there were people having picnics and playing Frisbee. When I went to the Magnolia, not the Magnolia, the Cherry Blossom Parade, it was Disney World clean. You kids in the bad parts of Washington, D.C., are riding their bikes at night and not getting shot. And here is a little thing from a little thing I found online. People being interviewed in Washington, D.C., including people of color. In other words, black people. Talking about Donald Trump sitting in the National Guard. Do they hate it because Donald Trump is a racist?
The National Guards have been deployed to D.C. for more than a year now. What do you make of their presence a year in?
I love them. I love them. Our kids deserve to grow up safe with a different environment. You know, for so long, D.C. has been a violent city. The goal is to get peace back into the neighborhood and society.
I love them here. Keep them here. It's cleaning D.C. up. Keep them moving all around D.C. Clean them up. Clean them up.
He's a white supremacist.
I love them.
I tell them thank you every time I walk past them. All the crime statistics say they're down in no small part because of that.
That's a deterrent. So we haven't had any really serious issues, especially with the teenagers.
It's beautiful.
Just lately.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing...
Baltimore still sucks rear end.
An excellent job. I just feel bad about the young lady who lost her life last year.
Yeah, the National Guard woman.
Take a look at the crime stats across the nation.
Yeah,
we're seeing homicides rate on track to be the lowest in more than a century.
That's terrible. It's white supremacy.
Some people are saying this is like a good policy from the administration.
Of course it is.
We lost more, young people that could have been lawyers, judges, doctors,
But you see, black lives don't matter to Democrats.
Could have been something in life. I think it was time.
Yeah, man.
To get it control.
Come on.
Get this under control.
Yes, sir.
And I do praise President Trump for that.
Come on.
Because somebody showed that they really cared.
Boys in blue, pretty important for that, too.
Yeah.
As long as you support them, they can do their job.
Yeah, you don't need to defund them and call them pigs, wrap them up, fry them like bacon.
They do their job. Imagine that. The crime rate plummets.
Wow.
I just say when they came, everything just got better to me,
Yeah.
for real. It got better. Keep it up, guys. I'm with Trump.
He deserves
Thank you.
100% of the credit. And God behind him.
Amen.
I mean, why wouldn't they do something about this? Why would they allow crime to run rampant?
He had to come in and do
like the chaos.
Do that. You can't just ignore the elephant in the room, because sometimes people that are bad have to be dealt with in that way. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful for where we are.
It's amazing, and the city is beautiful. I was looking at this because one of the things that have been a major part of my entire life on broadcasting is the plight of inner city kids, and how the Democrat Party has just ruined them. Inner city schools are terrible. There are several things that are completely common for Democrat-run inner cities. Terrible schools, rampant poverty, dependence on government, grievance, and throw in a Planned Parenthood on a street named after a civil rights hero. All of those things. Oh, and then, of course, a very high murder rate, very high crime rate, generally black on black. That's what they all have in common in Democrat districts, and Democrats have done nothing about it. Barack Obama has done nothing about Chicago, except for he did take over a neighborhood, tear down everything, and build a stupid-looking library that looks like a sandcrawler from the first Star Wars movie. That's it. He has not said D word for Richard about black kids in inner city schools. And I'm going to tell you right now, Donald Trump is changing some lives right now. And we don't need to live in darkness anymore. For 36 years of my career, I've been talking about this in inner city schools. Why do we have to have another generation of young people of color have their lives cut short, graduate without being able to read? I've got a teacher on the other side of the break I'm going to share with you. A gentleman, he's a man of color. And he is broken down in tears because so many of the seniors in his class don't know how to read. And they're going to graduate from high school. And what are they going to do? They got nothing. And the Democrat Party has been on top of this forever. This is why they hated that getting rid of the gentrification according to color with regard to the Supreme Court decision and voting, because they like to keep those people on the thought plantation, dependent, grievance-ridden, promising them things they will never deliver. And then the last promise is reparations, which they know will never happen. And when they don't happen, they can blame Whitey. That's your Democrat Party, and we're going to turn this around. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
in Harford County. A little boom boom. Boom boom.
We're on launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs. It's okay with me. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Ow, 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 ow.
Oh, my goodness. By the way, point of personal privilege. I've been, they get this red light therapy. You've been seeing this red light therapy. People are doing it. They're getting masks. So you see them at Sam's Club or whatever you put on and all this. And I always thought, oh, really? Okay, it's bullcrap, right? Let me just tell you, I got this mat, red light therapy mat. And I decided I was going to try it out last night. And last night I was at home, and I was just feeling tired and terrible. I was going to probably go to bed at 7:30. And I said, all right, I'm going to try this thing. And I laid down on this red light mat for half an hour. And I got up, and I started doing show prep again. And then I realized I wasn't tired anymore. I did it again this morning. Now, last night I decided to do this. I did a bunch of research on it, and it's real. I thought it was fake. It goes into your skin, and it really impacts the mitochondria in your cells. I can't explain it, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's for real. Okay, so I wanted to mention that. I thought it was bullcrap. It's not bullcrap. I mean, studies all over the place. Remember that? It's crazy. Details on something I'll tell you about soon, but blown away. So I found this morning, and I'd like to see more of this when it comes to inner city kids graduating from high school, or any kids graduating from high school and not being able to read. COVID destroyed and set back our kids miles and miles and miles. And we've got kids, and the Democrat Party Teachers Union, Randy Weingarten, doesn't give a flip. They don't give a flip about any of these kids. You never hear Randy Weingarten talking about a kid who's graduating from high school and not able to read. They don't give a crap. They don't give a crap. They're all a bunch of witches. They are. The leftists in charge of this, the woman the coven who gathered together around Maura Healey to celebrate aborting a baby up to birth, that's what that is. It's a coven of witches. Sorry, that's just the way it is. And there is evil and there is good. And Randy Weingarten is the opposite of good. But I want you to listen to this teacher, this man, a man of color, who realizes that these 17-year-olds are going to be graduating and their lives will be effectively null.
I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had
not going to college?
2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem.
They want to graduate kids who are unskilled, filled with grievance and anger and hate. And frequently they're just going to die early. Or they're going to have a bunch of kids that they can't take care of. And they're going to be dependent. It is a tragedy beyond means. I don't care what the color of the skin is. It is a tragedy beyond anything that should have ever been allowed to happen in this country. And we've got to fight back against this darkness. We've got to fight back against this evil. I know you're with me. Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews. It's time we saved a generation of kids. It's time we saved a generation of kids. Maura Healey, this Wiccan Maura Healey, she is very proud of signing in this law that you can abort a baby up to birth. Do you know the number of 30 million black babies since Roe v. Wade? 30 million black babies aborted. They're doing their very best to get rid of a genocide against kids with Down syndrome, some of those beautiful people you could possibly imagine. They do a test for Down syndrome. Why do they do a test for Down syndrome? Because they want to know, do you want to end the pregnancy? For both of my wife's pregnancies, she said, no, we don't want the test. We'll deal with what we got when we get it. There you go. Maura Healey.
I promise that no matter what Donald Trump or Republicans...
Like Randy Weingartner, a dour lesbian.
It's in Congress.
I'm not saying it's because she's a lesbian. I'm just saying it is. She is.
Or the Supreme Court does, we're going to continue to make sure that women and families have access to the health care that they need.
Yeah, the health care. They've got access to the health care.
Right here in Massachusetts.
Yeah, they do. They got that.
We're going to make sure...
This isn't health care. It's killing a baby right before it's born.
Sure that women in particular are able to make their own health care decisions.
It's not health care. It's an abortion.
Not the government. Now, the law that I sign is a...
Well, you've signed in a law that is very bad health care for the baby who wants to get born.
Against the context of the moment that we're in and the time in this country. We know that protecting abortion access and reproductive health care has been under fire.
No, reproductive health care, not at all.
Supreme Court overturned Roe and the Dobbs decision.
It's a terrible decision. It cost 60 million baby lives.
Back in 2022, the first time a court has ever taken away.
See, this is why the Salem witch trials took place. This is why the Manson followers were women. This is why there are women who've fallen in love with Luigi Mangione. This is why there are women who fall in love with death row inmates. Liberal women are insane. Coming up, Janice Fiamingo. She's going to be with us next hour to talk about that exactly. On the way, Vince August, conservative comedian. I love it. It's the Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount Plus. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Deported. 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 Get them out. Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. You may not remember every time you toss, turn, or wake up hot, but your body does. That's why you wake up tired before the day even starts. That's why I got a Ghost Bed, the best bed in the history of mankind. Ghost Bed is engineered to help reduce the reasons your sleep gets interrupted. Ghost Bed is designed to relieve pressure, help regulate temperature, support your body. Cooling technology built into every mattress and made in the USA. With Ghost Bed's 101 night trial, you can try it at home because the real test of a mattress is how you feel in the morning. If you're waking up sore or tired before the day even starts, check out Ghost Bed. For a limited time during Ghost Bed's Labor Day sale, they're offering my audience an extra 10% off their lowest prices of the season. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson.
Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily Podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
Hey guys, it's Carson. You know, when it comes to supplements, two things matter most. A, that it works, and B, that you can trust it. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed, including mine, and we'd like you to hear a few of their stories. Chris has spent years of doing physical work, leaving his feet sore at the end of the day. After starting Relief Factor, he felt so good, he did something he'd never done before. He ran a half marathon. Now he tells all his friends about Relief Factor. I can still move furniture, I can still ride my mountain bike, I can still lift heavy weights, and Relief Factor makes all of those tasks pain-free for me. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll soon be sharing your story with us too. Again, ReliefFactor.com or 800-4RELIEF. It is the Rob Carson Show on a Thursday already. I have a great appreciation for stand-up comedians because a stand-up comedian can move worlds, okay? You don't remember a quote from Aristotle. You don't remember a quote from whoever, but you can remember George Carlin and the FCC words you can't use, and go on and on and on. I could quote comedians forever because they are not only sages, to some degree they're philosophers, and they make you laugh. And they're doing it with just a microphone on stage, effectively naked, no big flash bombs, no big set, just a person with a microphone. Great, great respect. And if you do this for a living, A, you're insane, and B, I give you credit, Vince August is one of those people. He's got a new stand-up special and Comedy for All recently released on Amazon Prime, and he joins us on the Newsmax hotline. How you doing, my friend?
There is definitely something wrong with stand-up comedians. We are definitely a little bit off.
Yeah.
And to know us is to love us.
Now, are you one of the walking wounded? Because most stand-up comedians have got all sorts of stuff in their past. You know, they're a lot of things. You know, we get comedy from tragedy. So, did you have like a rough upbringing? Did you have any trauma in your life?
I was raised by Sicilian immigrants. I think that says it all.
Right.
I think if anyone.
No, they got it right. They got it right. I was watching some of your stuff this morning, and you know, my dad's a World War II veteran. He died 30 years ago when I was in my 20s. And he had friends at his work. There was a black guy, there was a Hispanic guy, there was an Italian guy, there was a Polak, you know, and they would say Polak, you know, and they would never call George the N-word. We'd use that word. But we were all just brothers working together, and it's been that way for my entire life. And my son, when he was growing up, he used to have a birthday party, and I called his friends the United Nations, because you got an Asian over here, and you got an Italian over here, and you got a black kid over here, and they'd make fun of each other. One of them would say, well, at least least I can, dance. And then the other kid would say, well, at least my dad doesn't run a convenience store. And this is like 20 years ago. No, less than 15 years ago. And then something happened, and we can't say anything. But I think we're returning to being able to talk again and being able to not get rubbed so raw by stupid crap.
Well, the worst thing that happened is we all started taking ourselves too serious.
Yeah.
And I think social media kind of turned everybody into their own individual TV shows, and you became a player in the show that they were starring in, and they became offended by everything because, no, you're just a side player in my show. And it's like, no, that's not what life is. Real life is about people in everyday walk of life, not this social media nonsense. And most people that I know live in the world that I live in, that you live in, that your dad lived in, that your kid lives in. It's that. Yeah. I think it gets amplified when people immediately start saying, oh, my God, I find this offensive. And they only do that on social media because if it happens in person, at least with the people I know, you get destroyed.
Yeah,
You're getting killed.
Oh, dude, I've been watching this. I've been watching some conservative comedians lately on stage. And if somebody is offended the audience, just go right after them. And the more you're in this business and the more tough your hide gets, the easier you are to take those people down and make them look like complete morons.
Yeah, and I hate that it's even become this thing where we're like conservative comedians.
I know.
Because we're not. We make fun of everything, and somehow that's become a right-wing kind of thing because we attack everybody. And it's like, no, man, that's comedy. There's no right or left-wing comedy. It's just comedy. What happened is the late-night talk shows started taking certain agendas, and we only do jokes about that.
Yeah.
And that's what started turning it into a left-right thing. In the comedy clubs, at least the places I work in, none of that was happening.
It didn't happen in Minneapolis. I used to do some down at Acme, and I had heard things had gotten a little bad down there. Have you played lately there?
Yeah, well, listen, you can walk into any room and find somebody that's going to be offended by things.
Yeah, I know.
But here's my thing.
Yeah.
Don't go into a room where you think you're going to get offended.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, and you should be grateful we live in a country you can be offended. That's what the First Amendment is all about. And honestly, listen, you remember Sticks and Stone, Dave Chappelle's special came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it, and he opened up talking about how if I was a kid being molested by Michael Jackson, I wouldn't complain about it. I'd brag about it to all my friends. I'm getting molested by, and I'm like, oh my God, and for a second I'm like, oh my God, and then what? You know what? If I'm offended, I don't even care. It's not reality. Right. It's not reality. It's a scenario. It's nothing. It doesn't exist.
It's like walking into church and being like, I can't believe all you guys talk about here is God. What did you think was going to happen?
I love the fact that it seems like we're coming back. It seems like, to me, it just seems like there's a comeback of comedy, man. I really do believe this. I mean, I've been seeing Shane Gillis, Nate Bargatze, those guys. Bargatze, they're brilliant storytellers. Theo Vaughn he's conservative, whatever. But comedy is making a comeback. I think it is, dude. Do you feel like unbridled comedy is making a comeback?
Well, what happened is the pendulum swung so far to this point of crazy that now they're actually calling it crazy. AOC called it woke 1.0.
Yeah.
So they're acknowledging that they were nuts. So now the pendulum is swinging back, and this is what happens. It swings back to a place, hopefully, where normal lives, and there isn't a woke 2.0. You know what? Call it was just a bad idea. Don't call it 1.0 because that means you're working on 2.0.
No,
How about you just don't work on anything?
They just want to make us forget about it. And I'm saying bullcrap on that. If you entertain if you entertain any of those idiotic ideas, like a boy can become a girl and a girl can become a boy, I'm sorry. If you change your pronouns, you're stuck with them. You're going to be a they for the rest of your freaking life, as far as my life is concerned. You're going to be a they. Hey, that was 20 years ago. You're still they to me.
Listen, as long as I can assign pronouns as well, then I think we're going to be fine. If we're going to pick them, I should be able to assign them too.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. This is what I want. No, but have you noticed a change? How long have you been doing this, by the way?
I've been doing stand-up since '97. I'm going all.
Dude,
next year will be 30 years. Yeah.
Okay, all right. See, I was doing stand-up in Minneapolis at Acme and out at the Mall of America. There was I think it was Funny Bone, and I was just playing with it a little bit, and then I kind of did open mic or whatever. So we kind of started the same thing. I decided to do mine on a radio show and not go, because on the road is a son of a gun, isn't it?
I love the road, and the reason I love
the
road is, yeah, I do. And listen, I've performed in 35 states and 70 cities. And the reason I love the road is because, you know what, you really get to meet people.
Yeah, man, that's true.
And you get to see them, right. And rather than hear what everyone tells you in the news and what everyone tells you on social media, this is what people like and don't like. No,
that's true.
I'm meeting people.
That's
and
true.
I'm getting to see them in every different state and in blue states and red states. And you know what? We have more in common than we do different.
Yep.
So stop believing the crap that everyone's telling you.
Amen.
Yeah, because most and listen, the people that go to comedy clubs, let's be honest, it's not wealthy people.
No.
There's no comedy clubs in Malibu. There's no comedy clubs in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Martha's Vineyard doesn't have a funny bone.
No, it does not. Nothing funny about that place. Listen, we got to take a break here, Vince August. Well, can you hold on through the break? All right. So, Vince August, ladies and gentlemen, new stand-up special and Comedy for All. I saw a good deal of it this morning doing show prep. Damn funny. Amazon Prime. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
have the answer. The trans soccer league right now. If I gave you the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, could you field a trans league? Could you field one team?
Will, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying as it becomes more prevalent, it is something that we should deal with.
Now that is our guest Vince August talking to Will Kane. By the way, Will does a great show. Talking about you can't have men competing on women's teams. Oddly enough, there are no women competing in the NBA or the MLB and all that. It's all one direction, of course. But maybe a trans league, and you guys were debating if there are enough trans people to put a trans league on the field. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, if there's enough people, let them do it. I mean, listen, I've always been an open-minded person in terms of if that's the way the country's going and this is going to be something that's going to be happening and we're going to have all of these trans people, you can't exclude people from society.
No, we don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to. Because you can't be a boy and suddenly become a girl and beat the snot out of girls.
Yeah, but
in the discussion.
Trans people, and if there's enough trans people, somebody was talking about the other day saying there's like 120,000 kids that have transitioned. Well, you know what? And obviously there's enough to do sports.
Yeah.
So let them have their own league. Yeah, let them do their own thing.
Here's something I want to propose to you. I want to propose because the WNBA is woke nonsense. They've got like an arena. It's like climate issue arena or something like that. Then you got these crazy racist lesbians. Let's face it. A lot of lesbians. Why is that, by the way? Could you imagine if the NFL were as gay as the WNBA? First of all, purple would be in every team's color, not just the Vikings. That would be part of it. But could you?
The WNBA is roller derby with a basketball.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As somebody who's never watched it, I don't care what they do to it. I don't care if basketball, the WNBA starts looking like the cantina bar from the first Star Wars. I don't care. I don't care. If it fails, I'm not going to miss it because I never watched it.
Yeah, I know.
And if you're one of these people that don't watch it, who cares what they do?
Yeah.
I let them. You know what? Listen, sometimes things have to fail. Let it fail.
Well, here's a problem. Caitlin Clark scored more points than any college basketball player in history. She goes to the WNBA. She brings back, and arenas get full, and little girls are coming up and getting an autograph. And then you got these people who weren't able to make that happen, who are pissed off at her because of her skin color and that she's not a lesbian. And that is just, to me, is just so patently absurd. And I just, they're self-immolating. That's the thing. And I know you and I don't care. I don't watch WNBA. I didn't know a single team until Caitlin Clark turned around. But I guess I'm white, so that's right. Maybe that. But honestly, why would you self-immolate when you get all this attention instead of being catty? This is what a lot of times you look at a guy who walks into a bar. Guys don't turn around and look at the guy and go, well, he lifts weights. He thinks he's hot stuff. No, but when a woman walks in and she looks great, the girls will pick her apart. And that's kind of what the dynamic with the WNBA.
But listen, I've always said it. If a woman tells me that I look good, I don't believe her. I don't want to. You know what who I want me to tell me to look good? A gay guy.
Yeah.
If a gay guy tells me I look good, I know I look good.
Yes.
Because you know what? Women's standards are terrible. So I'm never going to believe a woman's opinion anyway.
Yeah.
So you know what? That's the first thing you should know.
I've always said that gay guys are a girl's best friend.
Yeah, and you know what? They're going to be honest. That's why they ask gay guys for opinions on how they look.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, so you've been doing comedy, and by the way, Vince August, new stand-up special and Comedy for All, recently released on Amazon Prime, if you want to check it out. But you've been in this, 29, 30 years. How is social media? I think social media is bad, but overall, the reach is it's a pretty amazing thing, and it also gives you a chance to reach out beyond the club, too.
Here's the trap with social media. Mm-hmm. If you're a comedian, be a comedian. If you want to put your comedy up, put your comedy up. The trap is trying to beat an algorithm.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're trying to guess at what people want to, what can make me go viral, then you're not a comedian anymore. Then you're just, you're trying to beat a computer.
You can't do that.
Stand-up.
You can't do that. You've got to connect. And here's the important thing you made when you're talking about doing stand-up in the club. You know who warned me off of doing stand-up comedy? Dave Chappelle in the year 2000 was talking to me. He goes, I said, Dave, I really want to do what you do. And he goes, Rob, I really want to do what you do. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I got to be on the road all the time and all. This is right when right before the Chappelle Show came out, and then everything got so good for him. But you know what? It's about connection, right? It's about real connection. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, listen, as much as we're screwed up people, and as much as we make fun of people, and as much as we rip on people, the truth of the matter is, comedians, we want people, we want to make people laugh.
Yeah.
And to get a group of strangers you've never met before and build the common thread that makes everybody in that room laugh is really incredible. And in our lessons, that's what we want to do.
Yeah. Well, and there's nights you go in and there's nothing you can do to get that crowd going. And I'm sure you're probably past that, because the early days, there are nights that nothing is happening. And you're there, you're naked, you're on the stage with a microphone and a crowd that doesn't want to get on. And that's just like, what? And if you could survive that and continue to do it, you're really doing something. Listen, Vince, it is a real thrill to have you on, man. I appreciate you very much.
Same, my brother.
Where are you going to be? Where are you going to be? Are you going to be in D.C. anytime soon?
My favorite place to perform is down in Florida. Believe it or not, there's an amazing club in Naples called Off the Hook Comedy Club.
Sweet.
I'm a regular there. I'm on Will King's podcast every Thursday. Listen, anywhere people want to book me, let me know. Reach out. I'd love to come to your town.
Hey, you're on this podcast too, brother. We'll have you on again for sure. Best of luck to you. Thanks for the time today. Vince August, stand-up special and Comedy for All, Amazon Prime. God bless. Keep kicking ass, man. You're awesome.
Thanks, my brother.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was...
I had to talk. All right, I do a cute things for the next break. Hello, Sport Tech. Hello, Round the Pony. I like that guy. I think we need to. I want to. I like to embrace people who do comedy for a living, because this is kind of what I do. I do a political commentary show, but I'm an entertainer. I'm not a pundit. I don't do appearances on television as a pundit. Pundits are a dime a dozen. Pundits are a dime a dozen. There's some better and some worse. I am not. I'm the furthest thing in the world from a pundit. But do I practice punditry? Yes, of course. But I'm an entertainer. And I'm here to be, for you, I'm here to witness too. I'm here to witness maybe what you can do turning adversity into something positive. And, I've got hurdles in my life right now, but ultimately I'm going to turn them into a positive. And I know that God sent me here as a witness. So, and if I can make you laugh and inspire you on a daily basis, entertain, inform, and motivate to do good. Those are the things. Entertain, inform, and motivate to do good. And witness. Witness with my story to you. All right. I got to talk. Here I go. Here we go.
About 4 minutes.
I enjoyed talking to Vince August. I hope you did too. Because I was just saying to the streaming audience, I'm not a pundit. Pundits are a dime a dozen. Pundits, they do panels every night on the talk shows and all that. I'm not that. I'm an entertainer with an informed opinion, and I'm here to entertain, inform, and motivate people to do good. Those are my things, and witness to you, hopefully, to some degree. I hope you enjoyed having Vince August on. I like having people like Vince on because I think when you could do stand-up comedy for a living, that's a hell of a risk. It's like me putting all my stuff in a U-Haul behind my truck and moving to Washington, D.C. So I want to thank him for getting on. Tucker Carlson, what is up with Tucker Carlson? Is he mentally ill? Hunter Biden is a scumbag piece of crap. He is a piece of crap. He had prostitutes, possibly even some underage, traveled across borders to come and see him as coke-addled, just creep supreme, a crooked SOB. I mean, what filthy, rotten human being. Hunter Biden is a filthy, rotten human being. But here's Tucker Carlson kissing his butt.
The allegation that there was abuse of minors
proof it on the laptop. That came from the Israelis.
By the the Israelis planted the laptop, is what Tucker is saying now.
I'm just telling you that, because they came to me with that.
Yeah, he left him at a repair shop.
So I know that. And one of the things that enraged me about the statement from those sleazy intel guys is that they blame the Russians for it. Now, maybe the Russians had a hand in it, but it was the Israelis who were pushing that. Fact. I mean, literally to me.
Yeah.
So,
and you've gone through it.
But they're all such slaves.
Is there
to
anything?
Israel.
I want to clear with your entire, not a single thing in anything that is in any way true about that.
Sure. We don't believe you because we saw all the pictures and stuff.
It's like there was an abuse of minors in there. If there was evidence of abuse,
how many people call me a pedophile to this day? Anyway, I'll spare you. But I'm not. And what
I call Donald Trump that the Epstein files, it was all a lie.
But I agree with you. That's exactly right. And it's
you know what you're doing? You're giving an addict who's a creep an out for all of his bad behavior. Tucker. What a fool, what a sellout, what a maroon, what a blue blood country club geek.
Hunter Biden's my new friend. All his crimes I will defend.
Jim Gossett.
We sat down for an interview.
As Tucker Carlson.
I said, Hunter, I'm enthralled with you, cause he is a guy that I adore.
Yeah.
Love Hunter, I'll stick up for him even more.
Yeah, you are just going down the toilet with MTG. And
if you saw us, you would assume
they're a cute couple.
We two should get a room.
Both recovering addicts.
On Israel, we see eye to eye. We think Bibi is an evil guy for his lap top. I blame the Jews. We are anti-Semites. That is hardly breaking news.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is just genius. There you go again. There you go. Jim Gossett. My gosh. You're only going to hear it here. This is why I try to bring comedy to the show. Nobody else in the country does this, guys. And it is conservative comedy is ascending because the left can't be taken seriously anymore. And it's a powerful weapon. It's a powerful weapon for good. It really is. All right, we got another hour. Coming up, we're going to be talking to Janice Fiamingo, the goddess that failed feminism's unending war against men, among other things. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
About to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, broadcasting from the Newsmax studios in Washington, D.C., a stone's throw from our nation's capital. If you can throw a stone in a mile and a half, it's not very far from the White House either. It's really fascinating. Every day I drive right by the Washington Monument, and every day I drive right near the White House. And you can't really see the White House from 14th Street where we are. But you could see the big cranes and stuff for the ballroom they're building over there. It's a fascinating place to live. Particularly since I'm a farm boy from Iowa, it's a fascinating place to live, and I love it actually. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. It's a little tough being away from the family. I'll just be honest, but I do love living here. I do love it living here. And of course, we are on radio stations around the country, hopefully adding some. We'll see. The show is growing, and, of course, streaming live on all Newsmax social media. And the podcast is blowing up just all across the country. We made top 10 for political commentary a couple weeks ago. Made, a number 250 overall podcast out of 4.3 million in the world and everything. And then, of course, we're beating on the podcast category of news, NBC Nightly News and Jen Psaki. It's nuts. Isn't that great? That's got to just, there's got to be somebody going, who the hell is this Rob Carson guy at NBC Nightly News or Jen Psaki's show? Although I think she probably fantasizes about me. She probably already knew about me because she's like, damn. And I had to marry this. So let's talk about some stuff. These polls during these primaries have been ridiculous. They're saying in Minnesota, this Peggy Flanagan, who's a nutbag from hell, is a 95% chance of winning over Michelle Tafoya. That's a joke. That's a joke. On Monday, Francesca Hong, who you've already forgotten about, had a 95.5% chance of winning in the state of Wisconsin to be governor. She's gone. Gone. It was a late-term abortion by the Democrat Party. It was right up to the last day, the day before birth, they decided to abort Francesca Hong. It was a trimester earlier for what's his name, the racist in Maine, Graham Plattner. See, you're already forgetting their names. But the polls have been absolutely wrong. This is Frank Luntz. Frank Luntz is a pollster, has been a pollster his entire life. I think leans a little left. He said he was on, I believe, he was on with Ed Henry yesterday on Newsmax. Ed Henry on Newsmax. And he apologized for the polls of 2016 first.
Thank you. And I don't think you should be able to delete stuff like this. Yeah. And I want to start this interview by acknowledging him.
Yeah, they tried to delete the poll where all the polls that said that she had a 95% chance of winning and she was ahead by 20, but we're not going to forget it.
Mistake that I made that I never did again. Back in 2016, I believed that Hillary Clinton was going to win based on the exit polling of all the networks. They all were in the same pool, the same result. They all had Hillary Clinton winning. And so I put out a prediction that...
Do you still like to watch the liberal meltdown from when Hillary lost? Do you ever just look that up on the internet and watch the Young Turks, including Skank Booger? His head was about to explode.
Said, what makes you not...
It makes me smile.
...understand the words President Hillary Clinton. I got it wrong because I believed those numbers and I fixed it. And what we have,
you wanted her to win.
Have now are pollsters on both sides, Democrats and Republicans, not acknowledging how wrong they are, how they cannot make these projections, how when you get turnouts of 15% of the electorate, you can't make a conclusion.
No, you cannot make a conclusion when there's only 15% of people voting in a primary, and this is why these wild, and extremely wrong polls. And also, to be honest, they want to tamp down turnout. Duh.
We have seen this again and again in 2026. The Democrats who are more extreme often have greater levels of support in the polls that don't turn out.
Got it.
And in the end, if they don't stop projecting, we're going to make mistakes. Second is that they need to do a better job figuring out who's actually going to vote, because pollsters have notoriously been wrong at this. And third, and potentially most important, acknowledge your limitations up front. You cannot. This is not a science. It is an art. And you need to be much more careful about what you say and how you conclude. This has happened before. It'll happen.
And you got to take your biases out and rooting for the team. And rooting for the team that you are supposedly polling for, with the, and that's what happens. And that's what polls exist for, generally, is to tamp down the vote, make you feel crappy, make you think, there's no point in me voting because there's no way my candidate can win. That's the way it is. That's the way it always has been. You never see a Republican nationally out in front of a Democrat, because they've always got their mind made up for them, and the polls are always a joke. And it's very dispiriting when it comes to being a conservative. It's very dispiriting. But you know what? I'm not taking it anymore. I told you, I'm not suffering fools anymore. I don't care what you think about Donald Trump. I don't care what you think about the country. We are going to overwhelm you with joy and faith and patriotism and going to drive you into the pits of hell with this Democrat Party as it is right now, because they are broken. And I said they're going to have to fix themselves, realize that the people they represent are the most important thing, not getting rich, their NGOs, their donors, etc. They don't have any, they're not in touch with their voters. And I really believe, I'm seeing this more and more. I told you, 80% of us believe the country was going the wrong direction when Joe Biden was the president. 80% of us can come together to save it. It's that way. That's happening now. There are Democrats who are saying that the DSA was the smelling salts that woke them from this nonsense. Now, there's nothing you can do about the crazy left wings, your crazy cat ladies, and the emasculated men in their lives. Okay, they're gone. They're gone. Screw them. We outnumber them 80-20, minimum 80-20. So, all of this has been nonsense, and the adults are going to take charge, and we're going to come together because we love our country. We're grateful for where we are. Screw Hassan Piker. Honestly, screw Hassan Piker. What a worthless piece of crap he is. I got an exchange from Hassan Piker and Charlie Kirk a few years ago, before he was murdered by a leftist. Charlie Kirk and Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker talks a good game. He's a communist, and America sucks. And you should give all your money to the government. And here is Charlie Kirk saying, "You're a millionaire, bro. And all you do is sit on your ass and talk into a microphone with vitriol and hate and profanity. And if you really believe in communism, do this."
Why don't you give 95% of your money away and go live on a commune?
Do you really think that's how it works? Do you really think that's how it works?
Go live what you preach.
Look,
I'm a free market capitalist. I employ people. I took a risk. I have my own startup business. Every single day, I practice what I preach. He wants other people to contribute to what he considers to be a good idea, what he considers will make the world a better place. You have the freedom to go live as a socialist. Go do it, Hassan. What's stopping you?
100%. And we had Charlie Kirk. They have Hassan Piker. Who would you rather want to believe in? A man who was a hateful, despicable hypocrite, or a man who was a devoted father and husband, and he was knowledge in the scripture. He was well read within politics. He was a brilliant orator. He could debate without bringing the temperature up. And they murdered him. They murdered him. I said that the day that he died. I said they murdered him. And they did. It's a damned shame. Michelle Tafoya was on with Rob Schmidt last night on Newsmax. This girl, I'll tell you what, I think she's going to take it.
And Michelle Tafoya may not understand what you're going through, but I do.
That's Peggy Flanagan. No, you don't. You're full of crap.
I want to let you just respond to that and talk about Peggy Flanagan.
Go.
She doesn't understand what she has put Minnesota through. Yeah. She didn't mention fraud one time in her speech last night because she doesn't care. She's trying to convince people it didn't happen, didn't really affect anyone. It's all okay. But I am telling you, when I go across this state, Minnesotans of every political stripe are furious about the fraud. Yeah. They feel ripped off. This isn't some nebulous government money. This is taxpayer money that just not only did it get stolen, it wasn't given to the people who really needed it. Does she care about them? Does she know what they're going through now that their programs have been shut down because they couldn't handle Medicaid and Feeding Our Future and all the other programs that got absolutely hollowed out because of their fraud. Does she understand any of that? Does she understand that they are the businesses are so highly taxed and regulated in this state that they are leaving? Does she understand that? Does she understand that those businesses hire people? They are philanthropists. This tax base that we're losing is going away. Does she understand what that does to the state of Minnesota?
Yeah, and by the way, this is why there is 100,000 Somalians in the Twin Cities. Those are the votes that win her, that win this complete fool. Here's Peggy Flanagan being asked about, okay, you want to replace ICE, which is Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, which is not Nazis, they're not jackbooted thugs, they're nothing. They are officers enforcing our borders and our sovereignty. That's all. But here she is being asked about, you're going to kill ICE, I'm going to get rid of ICE, I'm going to get rid of ICE. What are you going to do? What are you going to replace them with?
I'm talking about if they were abolished, how would it work practically? For like a criminal in your state who's here illegally, how would that work practically? Would you think, would that person be arrested and deported, and what agency would do it? I'm just wondering how that would work.
Yeah, if you're going to get rid of police, what are you going to do there?
We need violent criminals to be held to account.
Really?
And
How?
we need an immigration system. Donald Trump's ICE
We got a great one right now.
is completely broken, and
it's not at all. We fixed it.
It's not the answer. And again, I would just say,
Here, listen.
while
I'm not hearing a solution.
the national media may have moved on, we are still recovering from Operation
Oh, you poor little butthurt Minneapolis liberals.
Metro Surge here. And, you know, the fear, the chaos.
Not at all. You guys caused the fear and the chaos.
It's outrageous. And I think the cruelty is the point.
Yeah. Let's close out the bit with a classic of this nutbag with oily face. I mean, really scary. Got a greasy sheen on her face all the time. She looks like Julia Roberts if she was had a child with Nosferatu. Here she is on a trans podcast.
With my sister. And we're going to get it done.
Calling a guy and address his sister.
Buju, Peggy Flanagan, Addition Kaz, Gijuewe Demokwe, Indigo.
Mega High, Mega Heini Ho.
Abaga, Ganikag,
Nosferatu.
Abdul-Jabbar,
Abdul-Jabbar.
My name's Peggy Flanagan. My Ojibwe name, or my native name, is Speaks in a Loud and Clear Voice.
Yeah, like Liz Warren.
I'm a member of White Earth, and my family's the Wolf Clan.
Whoa, hold on a second. Did she say White Earth? That's kind of white proximate, isn't it? Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Flight adjacent.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt.
Donald Trump's election. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's the Rob Carson Show.
So Lisa DeMuth is running for governor in the state of Minnesota. Ryan Wilson is running as her running mate. He was one of Trump's attorneys who got him on the ballot in Minnesota when Democrats tried to play lawfare. President of Minnesota's America First Policy Institute, before joining the ticket, raised $2 million at a single fundraiser in Minnesota for President Trump. Closest candidate to winning statewide in Minnesota in the last 20 years, losing by 0.3% when he ran for state auditor. When Democrats refused to have balanced election boards in deep blue Hennepin County, where I used to live, Ryan Wilson took him to court and won before the 2024 election in front of all Democrat Minnesota Supreme Court. There you go. So that's a good ticket. That's a great ticket, and I would love to see. Minnesota return to sanity, but I'm not holding my breath. Jamie Raskin, always get that messed up. From Maryland, who just an awful human being. He was acting like professorial and everything. And the Democrat Party, what they did when they say the big tent thing, let me use a camping analogy. You're out camping in the woods, and you actually invite the grizzly bear or the Kodiak bear to come in the tent. That's what the Democrat Party has done with the DSA. Here is Jamie Raskin, completely oblivious to the bear in the tent.
When the young people today say, I'm a socialist, what do they mean? Okay, do they mean I want to socialize the means of production? I believe in dialectical materialism, and I believe in the dictatorship.
Dialectical materialism? What the hell is that?
Leadership of the proletariat? I don't think so.
But then there are also other issues that we firmly believe in.
Now, you heard what he just said. Seizing production and all of this. And next we are hearing this El Sayed guy and what they actually believe. So here is Jamie Raskin saying that these people of the DSA, these young people, they don't want to be socialists, they're not Marxists or communists or anything. And here's Abdul El Sayed Jahar Blahabaha.
Whether it's BDS, right, or whether it is the end goal of seizing the means of production.
No, that wasn't. That was Zohran Mamdani. I'm sorry, I apologize. I got him confused there. Zohran Mamdani. So there's Jamie Raskin saying that saying that they don't want to seize the means of production and all of this. And then there's Zohran Mamdani saying, yeah, we do.
Whether it's BDS, right, or whether it is the end goal of seizing the means of production.
Yeah. So, no, they actually do. And Jamie Raskin, you're a fool for not believing otherwise. This is Chris Murphy, I guess, on CNN. He's a little bit upset. No, MS Now. He's on MS Now. He's a slobbers on himself pundit. He's kind of been retired and talking about the DSA.
AOC, I like AOC generally, but she came out and said we're just a big tent party. Well, the problem with the big tent defense is every Democrat has to defend all this crap coming from the left. They've got to say, I believe in all this crazy stuff, and that makes me a Democrat. You've got to say, no, I'm not a member of the DSA, and here's why, and make it very clear. So it's going to require politicians to be good politicians and say, here's where I stand.
Right.
This is what I'm a regular Democrat. I'm for labor unions. I'm for...
See, this is the 80% I'm talking about, the 80-20.
Opportunity for everybody. I'm for civil rights. I'm for all the things I believe in as a Democrat, but I'm not with this crowd. And I think that's going to be a line that has to be drawn.
I do too. And then we can break bread, and then we can actually negotiate, and then we can actually disagree. And we can save our country because I love our country, unlike these other a-holes. This is funny. Bernie Sanders has been a failure his entire life. He's a Vermont senator. He's never made anything. He's never built anything. He owns 4 homes. I think he rents one of them. He is an oligarch. And he thinks that, and this is so funny, because once again, he thinks he has momentum, and then he implodes. 2016, he thought he had momentum going into the primaries, then Hillary Clinton bought him off, and he imploded. He's been doing this, saying he's going to tout out this new socialism forever. It's always failed, and he's about to do it again. Here he is planting the flag for Democrat socialists in the Democrat Party, and James Carville saying, I ain't going to be a part of it.
I am not going to be in the same party with Hassan Piker. I can tell you that right now. If he becomes a force in the Democratic Party, I'm out of here.
If Mr. Carville doesn't want to be in my party, the party that I belong to.
He's literally claiming that it's not just my party, the Democrat. It's my party. He means it's now his party.
that Piker, that Sayed belongs.
Hold on. What did he say? He said Hassan Piker
doesn't want to be in my party, the party that I belong to, that Piker, that Sayed belongs to. He can start his own party.
He's in bed with that guy who said that we deserve 9/11. I mean, he said some unbelievable things. Hassan Piker is a mentally ill, violent, and awful man who should be deported from the country, denaturalized and deported. Here's Hassan Piker. No, this is Hassan Piker and some of these big tent Democrats. Let's see if they can get along in the same tent with the grizzly.
I'm pro stealing from big corporations. We must end the American empire. America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
We're a big tent. I may not agree with lots of opinions from some folks who are in DSA, but we're going to need everybody.
You have somebody saying,
how can you be in the same tent with Hassan Piker?
Incumbents who have lost their re-elections in places like New York and Colorado. And what does that say about the party today, do you think?
It says that the party is going to win the Congress.
We need a big tent, and I think people like Piker should be welcome into that.
The Democratic Party is a big tent party. We've always been a big tent party.
Okay, let's again hear who Bunny says should be in the tent.
I'm pro stealing from big corporations. We must end the American empire. America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
He also said he would wipe his rear end with the Constitution. I heard that this morning too. You bed down with Hassan Piker. It's going to end very, 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 very bad for you. It already happened with El Sayed the night before his election, where he only won by a 1 percentage point, and he was glad-handing Hassan Piker. It's going to bite you in the rear end, brother, so bad. You little 5'4", little muscle-bound doofus, compensating for something probably doesn't have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're not going to win. It ain't gonna win. It's already dying on the vine. The DSA. It's already dying on the vine. It's like a squash. It's like a pumpkin on your porch. Then it starts to just collapse on itself. Well, it's been separated from the vine. Gonna take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount Plus. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman. Now streaming on Paramount Plus. Doug took Relief Factor for nearly a year before convincing his wife, a special needs teacher, to try it. She had been using assistance just to move through the long hallway at school. Now she's back on her feet every day. Never had to leave the job she loves. I can attest to this. I ride my mountain bike every weekend from 30 to 50 miles. I lift weights, and I'm lifting heavier than I did when I was 30 without pain. People like Doug make it easy to find out if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor gave you what you love. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll be sharing your story with us, too. ReliefFactor.com or 1-800-4RELIEF. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghostbed. You may not remember every time you toss, turn, or wake up hot, but your body does. That's why you wake up tired before the day even starts. That's why I got a Ghostbed, the best bed in the history of mankind. Ghostbed is engineered to help reduce the reasons your sleep gets interrupted. Ghostbed is designed to relieve pressure, help regulate temperature, support your body. Cooling technology built into every mattress and made in the USA. With Ghostbed's 101 night trial, you can try it at home because the real test of a mattress is how you feel in the morning. If you're waking up sore or tired before the day even starts, check out Ghostbed. For a limited time during Ghostbed's Labor Day sale, they're offering my audience an extra 10% off their lowest prices of the season. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson.
Ariel Fodor, affectionately known as Mrs. Frazzle, to her combined audience of over 1.5 million followers, is here to help gentle parent us through this election.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am so honored to speak today. I am shaking to just be among such incredible company. We are here because, as if you were here earlier, you've heard BIPOC women have tapped us in as white women to step up, listen, and get involved this election season. This is a really important time, and we all need to use our voices and influence for the greater good.
Oh my God, that is Ariel Fodor. I remember that night. It was the day after Kamala Harris had been named the candidate, and I said that her followers were going to be crazy cat ladies or the emasculated men in their lives. I know I've distilled it to simplicity. However, that's kind of what really left-of-center women are. Janice Fiamingo is the author of The Goddess That Failed, Feminism's Unending War Against Men, Families, and Civilization Itself. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm really pleased to be here.
Well, I hope you could understand. I did make it simplistic, but women who are very left of center and who have been this kind of radical feminist, not just wanting to be equal, but wanting to tear down everything, tear down family, make abortion the biggest contribution you can make in your life. How has that evolved over the years?
Yes, well, that's quite a good characterization, I would say.
Thank you.
It really. Well, I would argue that feminism really was never about equality. It certainly is not now. There have always been some reasonable feminists, but there was never a reasonable feminism as an ideological movement. It was always driven by envy and resentment. It was always warped by utopian longings, for some pure world. It was always deformed by conviction of female moral superiority. And all of that simply got stronger and stronger as the movement went on, so that we have a bunch of women who have been convinced that they are victims.
Yes.
And so they dwell in their victimhood and they ruminate on that, and it leaches away any sort of empathy for anyone who isn't in the victim category.
Yeah, but it's gotten worse.
You would.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You
I was
finish.
just going to say. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say that that reference to the BIPOC women.
Oh,
that's
geez.
so classic.
I know.
It means that women who are more oppressed, who can claim more types of oppression because they're bisexual or they're black or whatever it happens to be. Those women have more moral authority, whereas the men can do nothing but apologize for their masculinity and promise to take a step back and allow themselves to be led into utopia by their morally superior sisters.
Now, by the way, you got your male and your female, you got your heterosexual, you got a homosexual. I contend that bisexual is nothing more than promiscuous. You're not a protected class. It's just you'll sleep with anybody. Honestly, it's not some sort of protected class. Oh, tonight I'll sleep with a guy. Tomorrow I'll sleep with a girl. I'm a protected class. No, you're just you're a WHORE. Anyway, let's move on. I want to get into why have women fallen for this? Men becoming women and crushing girls in their sports and without any regard for the girls who are being damaged by this.
Yes. Well, I mean, it begins with a commitment to the ideology, which is a very satisfying one in some way, I think, to believe that the entire history of humankind is a history of men oppressing women and women being innocent victims. So, but then that leads into the whole intersectional strangeness. It also leads into the idea that there is no biology. There is just gender constructs.
Oh, Lord.
And, all of gender identity is something that's social, it's psychological, it can be re-scripted, and it's a good thing if we upend the gender order and start styling ourselves as men and women and, non-binary.
Yeah.
If we can do that, if we can re-style ourselves, that is a revolutionary act that will liberate us all, allegedly. And so if you go back and you read the early feminists from the 1970s, they all agreed that there was nothing to gender except what's in our heads. And that started this trend, and in the 1970s and 80s, women started pouring into formerly all-male, exclusively male domains like firefighting and policing and soldiering and if anyone tried to stop them, little girls started going into boys' baseball teams. Anybody who said, this is not a good idea, this could lead to injury, it could lead to embarrassment for the girls, it could lead to problems for the boys, those people were just shouted down. We had women reporters going into male locker rooms. Those people were criticized if they said we shouldn't do this. They were called old prudes who needed to get with the modern world. Now, all of a sudden, we've got the problem of all of these men starting to take up women's sports and causing injury to women and pushing them off the medal podiums. Now, at last, finally, some feminists are starting to say, hold on, I don't want my 14-year-old daughter in a changing room with a boy. And so there's starting to be, and I think this is a good thing that's coming out of trends, and if the entirety of women's sport has to be destroyed in order for us to wake up to the craziness of feminist ideology, I think that would be a good thing. I really do. I don't think the civilizational damage from the destruction of women's sport, aside from the unfortunate destruction of certain women's dreams, I don't think the damage would be that great. The damage of feminism to civilization overall is enormous. So I'm happy that at least some women are starting to say, hold on, this doesn't make sense.
Well, they're not happy. It's not made them happier. They're just dour, awful individuals. You look at Randy Weingarten, the head of the teachers union. You look at these, Maura Healey in Massachusetts, proudly signing a bill yesterday that allows abortion to birth. My God, she was standing there. It looked like a Wiccan. It looked like a Wiccan gathering. How did we take the most precious and eventful, marvelous moment of a woman's life, giving birth? I'm not saying it has to be for everybody, but giving birth is such a life-changing thing. Look at Caroline Leavitt, just stepped away from this job as a press secretary for the president to be a mom, and they converted that into the most empowering thing you could do is kill the baby in the womb before it's born.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
Well, it happened gradually over time as women were encouraged to be filled with rage and resentment and a sense of bitterness at their womanhood, to have no gratitude towards men, to believe that the most important thing in a woman's life, making a home with a man she loves and who loves and protects her, and producing children with that man and making a home so that those children can be raised in a safe environment. She was taught from a very early time, and we're talking, we can go back 140 years to Frederick Engels, The Origin of the Family, Private Property, and the State, in which, based on Karl Marx's papers, he argued that the position of a woman in a family was no different from the position of the exploited worker in an oppressive capitalist system.
Oh, my God.
And women loved that kind of thing. A lot of feminists were deeply influenced by Marxist materialism.
Well, everything you've just said.
They taught women, they taught women that there's emotional labor and you're not paid for it.
Yes.
And that's a terrible injustice. And the worst thing you can do with your life is to give it to a man.
Unbelievable.
And join with him to make a family. Instead, you should be a wage slave and try to please your boss.
Well, we got to take a break, Janice. I am enjoying the conversation. Janice Fiamingo, she's got this book, and I know we normally don't do book authors. I'm just going to tell you, I just think this is fascinating. The Goddess That Failed: Feminism's Unending War Against Families, Men, Families, and Civilization. I got some questions I'm going to ask you on the other side of the break about the kind of women who are attracted to this, the kind of women who fall in love with death row inmates, and that's what these people are. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
So I know we have like some efforts to increase diversity in the district. So I'm wondering, especially around administration, are there financial incentives for Black and brown people to work here? It's an extra burden, quite frankly, to be a Black and brown teacher and administrator in the district. And so I think we should start thinking about that financially if we're not already.
That is, by the way, in West Hartford, Connecticut School Board member Latoya Yagaloff saying that because of the added pressure of being a Black or brown person, they should be paid more, which is patently racism. I mean, obviously, patently. But it's the same kind of pathos, isn't it, Janice Fiamingo? It's the same pathos. It's the Marxism that not only makes Blacks victims, Pacific Islanders victims, everybody's victims, and, of course, women victim as well.
Yes. Well, and it's one of the things that makes Western culture great, but is also maybe one of our greatest vulnerabilities in that we established a culture of empathy centuries ago where we cared about suffering. And suffering wasn't necessarily a badge of dishonor. It wasn't proof that you had failed. It might be because something happened beyond your control, and we should have care for those people. But now it's turned into that the greater the victim, the greater the moral authority. And we all have to listen. As soon as someone starts telling his or her, but especially her victim story, we all have to fall silent. And if we ask that person to take responsibility for any of their actions, we're told we're victim blaming. And so it turns into all of these ridiculous policies and programs of compensation to victims where white heterosexual men have to bear the burden of shame for being allegedly privileged, even though they don't get to partake of any of these special programs, and many of them are denied jobs on the basis of their race and sex. And yet they just have to put up with that and live with that, and they still are supposed to apologize for the fact that they were born into a male body and are of the white race.
I got nothing.
I'm
gonna tell you, I got nothing to apologize for. I had a rough childhood. You could survive my childhood. You're doing something because you ain't seen nothing. I've refuted that white privilege bull crap since day one. And all of the things that I went through as a child, I was raised on a farm, started working in fields when I was 10 years old, made $3.35 an hour from the age of 14 to the age of 23. Didn't have a television until I was 28 years old. And you want to tell me because a police officer pulled you over and whatever, that your life is absolute crap versus mine, even though you went to Harvard? Ridiculous. Let me ask you this, Janice. By the way, your book is called The Goddess That Failed, Feminism's Unending War Against Men, Families, and Civilization. What about these women who fall for Luigi Mangione or are members of the Manson family, women who fall in love with men on death row? I've been looking for a diagnosis. What is that? Because on this side of the equation, you've got radical feminists who've rejected men, frequently are lesbian, and then you've got the other ones who fall in love with those who would endanger or kill them. What's that about?
Yes. Well, that is some aspect of female sexual nature when it is no longer bounded by reason and by an ordered society. For many years, I think it was recognized that women needed to be protected from bad men and also from their own natures.
Yes.
Now, feminists came along and said that was patriarchal, that was paternalistic. So now women are encouraged to give in to their impulses. The fact is that many women find dangerous men attractive. Why? Well, it makes sense. A dangerous man is a man who's willing to kill. A man who's willing to kill may be willing to kill on the woman's behalf. Therefore, he's a good protector. It makes sense, right? But in the old days, we would tell those women, look, you need to get a man who will be willing to kill for you if absolutely necessary, but it also will make a good father to your children and will be a good provider and will love you and be, kind to you and all of that. But now what we say to women is all of those controls are bad. Those are vestiges of the bad old days. You should give in to your impulses. All self-control is damaging, and whatever happens, you can claim to have been a victim because we tell women that they don't have to take responsibility for any of their actions, no matter the consequences. And so I think that's just one of the.
And listen, and I think we got to
contradictory impulses.
We got to wrap things up here. But I think we're beginning to turn the corner on this. I think young men are tired of this toxic masculinity. Whoever made that up was ridiculous. I think femininity is far more toxic because I had to watch The Property Brothers for a decade. That's it. I think that they tried this toxic masculinity thing, and now young men are going, enough is enough. Young women are saying, you know what, enough is enough. I want to be a mom. I realize this, and I think we're going to get back to normal again. By the way, where in Canada are you from?
I'm on the West Coast in Vancouver, BC.
I heard a boat, and I love it. I've been out there. I've been out to Vancouver. It's beautiful out there. I've been skiing out there in Whistler.
Yes, a beautiful area.
All right.
Yes.
Well, listen, I enjoyed the conversation today. Where can people find you on social media?
I have a Substack newsletter. It's under the phrase Fiamengo File. If anybody puts my name into Google, Janice Fiamengo, they'll find me there. And I would encourage them to take a look at what I write. You can be a free subscriber and find out whether what I have to say is of interest.
I think it's very interesting. Thanks for talking to us today. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciated it.
All right. It's a FIAMENGO file on Substack. I think this is fascinating. It's good to know the roots of all of this because it is all raised. It's all the same stuff. If you're a person of color, if you're a woman, if you're a BIPOC, if you're a whatever, it's the same drumbeat. It's all the same drumbeat. It's cultural Marxism. We've heard this before, and I really do believe it's played itself out. Well, it hasn't played itself out, but we're winning. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I'm back. Hello, everyone. I think it's fascinating. I'm liking to understand that this is not organic. It's a movement. It's a plan, and she tied it back to 140 years ago with Karl Marx. So good to know. Good to know. It's all a psyop. It's all been a psyop. Rob shushes down the mountains. I'm a hell of a skier, actually. I am a hell of a skier. Although I'm not a great skier. I'm a good skier. I'm not a great skier. And I think my skiing days are over. I don't really like being in the cold much. So Crazy Yaters over there on Twitter today, and Caden Prater, you guys were new today. That's nice to see you over there. Normally the Twitter feed, we don't get a lot of chat. Blockbuster 2K and Jamie Bullitt, all you guys, the usual suspects on YouTube. Good to see you there. Gladys Kravitz, what up? What up? How you doing? Somebody replaced Tucker with a clone. I don't know. I don't know how you're so unmoored from who you were at this stage in life that you can become somebody completely off kilter, broken, weird. There's something going on there. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't have a damn thing to do with Tucker or with Hunter Biden. Wouldn't have a damn thing to do with Hunter Biden. All righty. They silenced Charlie. Yeah. They silenced Charlie. They woke a sleeping giant. You're right about Charlie Kirk. I'm going to return to something fun here. All right, I got to talk. Workout day.
I have about 3:15 here.
Like Muhammad Ali, she was the greatest.
So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the militant parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question. Raquel.
They shaped and acted recklessly until they're unjustified.
Karoline Leavitt.
Okay, so you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat.
Oh, so good.
But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias.
Oh, my God. Karoline Leavitt, you will be missed as White House press secretary. Absolutely, 1,000%. And so we play this one more time at Jim Gossett as Donald Trump. And sweet Karoline, thank you for being there. We look for the rest of your future.
She was the best.
Come on, Caroline.
Now Caroline is leaving.
Better than I could have ever imagined.
We're gonna miss her every day.
Made Corinne Jean-Pierre look like a piker.
The media.
Ba, ba, ba.
She had wrapped round her finger.
Yeah.
With her they never got their way.
Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop.
Hand. Give her a hand.
Yeah, baby.
Woo! Miss Leavitt.
You ready?
You're the best. We'll miss you.
Come on.
Sweet Caroline.
Ba, ba, ba.
No one's done the job as good.
So good, so good, so good.
Kept them in line.
Ba, ba, ba.
In her way nobody stood. Sweet Caroline.
I texted her that song this morning. I texted that song to her this morning. I got to know her when she was running for Congress, and then, of course, stayed in touch with her ever since and has the chance to meet her in person in Washington, D.C. And she just, I'm going to tell you, she knows what's important. She's going to be a mom and a wife, and then she has a brilliant future in front of her, no matter what she does. An exceptional, outstanding person, and I mean, she was a phenom as somebody as young as she was, able to do what she did and have children while she did it. Absolutely amazing. God bless you, Caroline. We're going to miss you there. We'll see who comes up next. Could be Alina Habba. She could be real good too. Real good too. Big shoes to fill. Gigantic shoes to fill. That's going to do it for the show today. Tomorrow, by the grace of God, it is finally Friday. In the meantime, God bless you. America has founded. Screw the DSA and the Democrat Party. God bless Donald Trump and our troops. And until tomorrow, do not catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.